Welcome to Ag Shorts. I'm Calen. He's Brandon. Today we're going to talk about the various ways you can hold together bales for feeding. We've got plastic netting, plastic string, actual string like sisal or regular twine, and then we've also got like almost a fence-like material. What is that? I've been fighting it the last few days, and it's been irritating me because it falls apart and it's not user friendly at all. But normally, like with plastic netting, it's an easy, like we were talking about it today, a wrap and a half on a large round bale that's about 1,200 pounds. This stuff is almost like the old construction work site orange plastic fence that you put up, except it's smaller and black, and it just absolutely falls apart when it's frozen, and it's been horrendous to deal with and difficult to cut through. So I wanted to share my frustrations with the rest of people. So anybody out there who's creating this stuff, get rid of that. Use other netting, actual sisal, something else other than what you're using with that, because that's absolutely horrible as a livestock producer to try and feed that. So I'll just give it.
Well, and you talk about sisal, but sisal is nothing more than just that. It's rope
Yeah.
material. It's organic and it will break down. When we used to stack small squares by hand in a stack, we would turn that bottom row so the strings were off the ground. They were parallel to the ground because we didn't need them to rot. That was an issue. This stuff doesn't really rot. It'll break down. And you got this is all, like you say, it's a plastic type of material. Bale strings, these are heavy strings on the big square bales. And some of the round bales have the string like that, but it's thinner, like you would expect on a 2-string 75-pound bale. Netting has been just netting. It's kind of real pliable, flexible, almost material-like in the way it handles, and you can cut through it pretty easily. Not a big deal. But this stuff we've got on this last load of round bales, it is brittle. It breaks. You can't pull it and get it to hold together. It'll break apart.
Well, it freezes to the ground really easy too.
Yeah, well, they all do, but the others seem to pick up, and you can pull it through some of the ice, and you can beat on it and knock some of the ice off of it and some of the snow cover and keep going. Where this stuff will still just break, and it catches. It seems like on everything. Your buttons on your coat.
Yep. I was cutting it off of
Yeah, I mean, I think this stuff will stick to paint. God, it's tough to deal with. I mean, there's a learning curve that goes through some of that stuff too. When you change from one material to the next, when I first had netting, I hated netting because I had not had a lot of work with it before. I'd always had strings, and I'm from the old school where we used to load a pickup load of hay. I put on 45 bales or so, and dad or grandpa would drive, and I'm out there, grabbing 2 strings, cutting it, kicking that bale off slowly, grabbing another 2 strings, cutting them, kicking those bales off slowly, and you pretty soon you got a whole mitt full of twine, and it was manageable, only because you'd just always done it that way. Well, then the netting, I kind of got to where I liked it as well, because you can grab it, you can pull it. It stays together all in one bunch, and then you can wrap it up, and it's about the size of a soccer ball, maybe, or football, if you just really wrap it tight, and it's easy to dispose of. So after that, it's useless, though. I mean, there is nothing like having extra twine around, to reuse for something to tie all kinds of stuff up. So, those uses are there, but this black plastic stuff we've got now, I can't see anything that is useful for it other than to make you mad.
It does a good job.
It has. I can attest to that.
This is the netting we're talking about. You can see it gets caught up in this hay, and there's any ice, it holds on and it's super brittle and just falls apart. But yeah, I don't like this. But look at this. See how it catches? You can't pull it off, and when you have 300 pounds of hay, it's really hard to pull it. And I'm actually surprised it didn't break on me with how brittle this netting is. But you pull this off, and this one worked out well, thankfully. But yeah, you can see how it catches real easy. The other thing too is it catches on your buttons. I literally had to cut it off me the other day So I've been holding on to it as a souvenir, but yeah, not a fan of this netting at all.